Hello, everyone. I'm Santiago. I'm the second year at Rutgers. So just background about this patient. It's a 74-year-old female. She had a type 2 thoraco that was measuring at 7.5 centimeters. Otherwise, she's relatively healthy, just hypertension. She was a former smoker. She had her gallbladder taken out as well as a partial thyroidectomy, and she was only on aspirin prior to this. So just looking at the scan, I have to scroll through it. The start of the aneurysm does involve the left subclavian, so we knew we had to plan for that, and then it goes all the way down, just infrarenally, and then you get more normal aorta. So knowing this, we planned to do a two-stage, given how much aorta we were going to cover. We were going to do a TBE with a TVAR first, and then we'll talk about the visceral segment afterwards. So back in January, this was actually an outside hospital where we ended up doing a TBE, zone 2. Proximal landing zone is just next to the left common carotid artery, and then we added a TVAR along with it, leaving about 3 to 4 centimeters of native aorta above the celiac artery. Post-TAMBI CT, so that was back in January. This shows that we do have an adequate TBE here. And then we fall down. Obviously, there's going to be endo leaks there because we haven't finished. And then you can see the distal portion of the graft about here. All right. So next step, we were thinking about doing a TAMBI. The outside surgeon actually brought it to us because they don't have the capabilities with ICU monitoring, and we planned for a TAMBI at this point. So we took him back at the end of April. You can see here the TVAR. This is the proximal landing zone for the TBE. So first we did get bilateral femoral access, and we actually do a left axillary cut down, but you can see that we did cannulate the celiac artery. We ended up placing a 9x59 VBX, the BX2 specifically, and we cannulated it well. We deployed the TAMBI. Well, we got cannulation of all the arteries, deployed the graft to about 50%, ended up stenting the celiac first with that 9x59. You can kind of see it here, the common hepatic artery. There was a concern for either dissection versus spasm. We always like to say spasm, but more likely it was dissection, so we ended up placing an 8x40 ANOVA stent in the common hepatic artery. I don't have the following image for that. Then we looked at the SMA. We ended up cannulating with the glide wire advantage and an angled glide cath. We ended up placing a 7x79 VBX BX2. And you can see successful cannulation there. Then we went for the renal arteries. Both portals were 7 millimeters, so it was a 7x79 bilaterally at the portal. And then the left renal artery, we did a 5x79, and the right we did a 6x59. These were all VBXs. Of note, these were pretty tortuous, so we had to use the Aptus tour guide sheath. But we cannulated them well, no issues there. After that, we ended up deploying the rest of the graft, and then we ended up doing a 23x45 Gore excluder. And then the post aortogram of that, you have a brisk endo leak right here. We were trying to figure out, everything looked fantastic from one of the views, and then after many views later, we noticed that the SMA stent was dislodged. So you can see here, this is the end of the SMA stent, that 7x79 we placed, and the takeoff is right about here. So that's not ideal. So what we ended up, I missed a slide. We tried many different types of catheters. We tried reverse tips, everything. Nothing was fantastic getting to cannulation. So we ended up taking a 7x20 Mustang balloon, insufflated it to nominal pressure, and very carefully and very scarily, we pulled back tension on it, and we actually made an accordion on the stent. And then now you can see my arrows are a little jacked up right here, but the end of the stent right here, and this is the SMA takeoff. So we were able to actually make a better angle to start cannulating it. And then once we did that, it was pretty easy to cannulate with a burn and a 035 glide wire advantage. And Here you can see we are now happy. We ended up placing a 8x79 BX2, and then we did a bridging stent to that original 7x79 with a 9x59 VBX. And that's what I said right here. So now we're very happy. There's no endo leak. And here's the completion aortogram. You can see much better, no significant endo leaks, no ones or threes. So technically it was a 1C, seeing that our stent completely moved. And post-op, she did well. She had some left lower extremity pain post-operatively. We think it was just from an occlusive sheath. She was an old, small lady. She was tolerating her diet. No issues. She was discharged on post-op day 4 on DAPT. This is the post-op scan. It's pretty. I think the biggest thing about this case is that now that TAMBI is much more available compared to PMEG, we do need to be able to talk about the complications intraoperatively and be able to figure out how we can fix this, because every surgeon can get their hands on these now. So we should be open to talking about our complications. That's all I got.